Yes, everyone, what's going on? My name is Stephen Howson. This is a bit of transfer talk on a match day as well, which feels a little bit odd, doesn't it? But if you are going to be tuning in for the match later on, then come and check us out on Stretford Paddock. I'll be doing a watch-along on there alongside Joe McGrath, Omar, and who else is on with us? Can't remember who else is on with us. Somebody else. Anyway, so we'll be doing a watch along on Stretford Paddock later, so more than welcome to come and join us over there. We'll be having a good old time. I might even get some chicken wings in for the lads, you know what I'm saying? Right, but the reason you're here, we want to talk transfers, don't we? We've only got about a week and a couple of days left inside the transfer window, and not a lot of United fans would call this window a success at the moment. I think that's fair to say. It almost feels like, yep, we signed the right back we needed, but where's the centre half? Where's the centre mid? If we lose Lukaku, do we need to replace them goals up front? Did we need a right winger in the first place? A lot of holes to address. Don't think we're going to get them all addressed, but we might see two big signings, or at least two big transfers brought in. I think Harry Maguire is going to happen. I think Harry Maguire is going to happen. Before we talk about that, let's talk about this little Dybala and Lukaku sort of swap deal then. So Lukaku-Dybala exchange is allegedly on safe tracks. Inter not totally out of the race, but they're feeling that there's a deal between Juve and United that could get done. Juventus are apparently looking for an exchange that will cost between 20 and 30 million plus Lukaku for Dybala, which I think is probably not bad money in today's market. Inter Milan's chief executive, Marotta, said, "Today it's clear that the demands for the players are really high in some cases, like Lukaku. We made a fair and important offer, respecting the value of the player. Nothing has ended. We will try to monitor it again." It could fail if Dybala refuses the move, but there is a feeling that he could be convinced, and there is optimism that the deal could go through. Dybala has previously been quoted on his desire to play in the same side as Paul Pogba, and that's from Corriere dello Sport. So my issue with Dybala is, I go, aside from a false nine, where does he fit this system? Where does he fit what Solskjaer's going for with absolute pace merchants? He definitely brings in a little bit of quality. We know that he can score a lot of goals, as we've seen him do that prior to the arrival of Ronaldo in Italy. Can he be what United are looking for? He certainly can get involved in the link-up play and the movement more than Lukaku could, but I'm not sure. I'm certainly not losing my mind with excitement over this if this was a deal that would happen, but it's preferential to just selling him to Inter and having nobody come in without a shadow of a doubt, because I think that's on the cards. I think with the way that this transfer window's gone, the likelihood of us getting everything that we need is very slim. The chances of us getting it, if there's some sort of a swap deal, I think is a little bit higher. Look, Dybala's a top-level player. The more of those in you have in the team, the better. You don't get better by selling your best players. You get better by improving the team overall. I think Dybala probably suit our system a lot better than Lukaku. Not sure he's perfect for it, but he's a quality footballer, and hopefully that would be a good deal for me. So many people talking about the option of this last night. But again, when you look at that Juventus side, you go, the fucking hell do they need Lukaku for? Have you seen the depth? I mean, the depth throughout that team is absolutely phenomenal. I understand why Inter want him. I don't really understand why Juventus would want him. I could understand why Lukaku would want to go to Juventus, though, because they're going to be in the mix for winning the Champions League, I think, this year. Harry Maguire, then. The ongoing saga that it's turned out to be since about early June. So almost 2 months of this now. Leicester City defender Harry Maguire is losing patience with the club, and the England centre-back wants the Foxes to push through his move to Manchester United, say the Mail. Maguire missed training yesterday and has gone back to training today, as is the normal procedure. His agent deleted an Instagram story inside Carrington, which has led to increased speculation that a deal could be very close. I actually thought that the post that was up on Instagram yesterday was from the Mayfair office, but I asked a couple of people who have been to both, and one of them sent me a photo of the same place and went, "No, that's Carrington, mate." So I was like, okay, so it was Carrington. The reason I didn't get super excited about the agent of someone being inside Carrington is because he also represents 3 or 4 of our academy players as well. These meetings go on all the time with people, so just because he represents Harry Maguire doesn't mean anything. Even though we all think it, and probably are right in thinking it probably means something, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. He's Jimmy Garner's agent. He could have been going to speak about Jimmy. He could have been going to speak about a number of different players. So that's not a reason on its own to get excited. If you're a member of my Patreon group, then you guys got told, probably back in June when I got told, that Maguire is going to be one that we're going for. It was around about the Nations League, so I'll let you put 2 and 2 together for that one. And Maguire is the only one that I've had any inside track on, really, in terms of transfers. Aside from Wan-Bissaka, which we knew about all the way back in March. Like I said, if you want to know the inside track on transfers, and I will admit it's been pretty quiet of the moment, I haven't had anything for a while, but if you do want to know the inside track, the Patreon group is all about that, if you want to get in that sort of mixer. Maguire and Wan-Bissaka are the only two that I heard anything about. Not heard anything on Fernandes, not heard anything on De Ligt, not heard anything on any of the other players that we've been linked to, just those two. Milinkovic-Savic then. Now I think Milinkovic-Savic, very much like he's sort of being lined up, is probably a replacement for Pogba. And it feels like there's a lot of, we ain't buying shit until we sell at the moment in this window, which doesn't really feel great. It doesn't feel great, but it feels like that's probably a reality at the moment, that there is somewhat of a, you're not going to get this massive overhaul that we all wanted. Now, what's going on with Milinkovic-Savic? Lazio president Lotito says he is open to the idea of selling him. United are a target, obviously, if the right offer is made. Serbian midfielder played in a deeper role for him last season, where he contributed to 5 goals and 3 assists in 31 games. In the 17-18 season, he was a lot more advanced, where he scored 12 goals and got 3 assists. It's believed it'll take around 90 million euros for Leicester. For Lazio. Leicester. For Lazio to deem an offer is acceptable. It's because I'm reading up, and obviously Leicester's in there. I like Milinkovic-Savic. I think he brings a bit of a bite and a bit of an energy and a proper number 8 that we've lost in Herrera going. Obviously, he's very good in one side, and he's shown last season that he can do the more disciplined sort of defensive side as well. I really rate him, and I think he improves United's midfield, and I think he is the sort of player that United could do with. But I just get that feeling that Bruno and Savic are probably options for when Pogba goes. I just don't think we're going to spend 90 million in midfield, as well as bringing in a forward, as well as bringing in a defender, as well as... Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't feel like that's likely to happen for us, especially when we can't get rid of Ollie Deadwood. Wages are such a monumental commitment that they mean more than a transfer fee to the club. Yet we renewed the contracts of a lot of players that are just bang average. Moussa Dembele then. This is another kid that I really like. I'd love this guy to be part of United's attack. I can see both him and Ben Yedder fitting into what we've got and the rest of the forwards that we've got at the club very well. If we lose Lukaku, I do think we should. I don't think we will, but I do think we should invest in another forward to take the pressure off Martial and Rashford a little bit, because both of them need to have exceptional seasons by their standards to even be a bang average Premier League centre forward in the top 5-6, where you've got to be getting 20 goals or so. So United made contact with Dembele's entourage several weeks ago. Solskjaer says he appreciates the player and he's placed him on his shortlist, and Dembele has not closed the door on a departure from Lyon this summer. He scored twice against Arsenal in the Emirates Cup, got 22 goals and 6 assists in Ligue 1 last season. Only Mbappe scored more goals from open play last season. Good player. Remains to be seen what his true level is. But there's a good player in there, and I think with a good system around him, the sort of attitude that I reckon our forwards are going to have, could be a good signing for us. Right then, let's talk about outs. This is proving to be an absolute nightmare to get rid of some of these guys, isn't it? First one we're going to be talking about then, Marcos Rojo. So Argentine defender Marcos Rojo, 29 years of age, will consider a move away from Manchester United if he believes first-team opportunities will be limited next season. They're going to be limited, mate, because most of our centre-halves are better than you, and you're a maniac. It's previously been quoted that United are looking for 25 million for him, who's only featured 14 times in the Premier League since signing a 4-year contract at the back end of the 16-17 season. How mad is that? How mad is that? The fact that we want 25 million from him is so optimistic. If I'd be happy if someone just take him off our hands, in all honesty, or even just get even if we got half of our money back that we paid for him, which is about, I think we paid 16 mil for him. If we got 10 back, sound. Where am I taking him? Rojo probably would have been a cult figure in a good United team, but we're not a good United team, and he's annoying. And when you don't play, and he won't be on shit wages, that's annoying. So, I would love to see us go, but even this here is that all it's saying is Rojo would consider a move away. I'm sure he would. But when people phone up and they're like, oh yeah, how much is he on? Yeah, I don't think so. The problem that United have got, and the nightmare that United have got, is that too many of our players are on far too much money. They would be considered legendary status at other clubs according to the wages that they're on. And they're not that good. They're pretty ordinary. You can go and look around probably a championship team and find another Chris Smalling. Not a problem. And it's probably going to cost you 35 grand a week in wages, not 100 and whatever. And there's too many players of that nature in the team that we all know aren't going to be first choice players. Darmian, Rojo, Jones, Smalling, Young. 5 of them are going to be on international footballers' wages. Probably best part of 600 grand a week across them 5. Which means that that's 2 genuinely top draw footballers on 300 bag a week that you could bring in on those wages. That would actually improve our starting 11, because that was our issue last summer. Finished 19 points away from Manchester City. Didn't improve our starting 11. Added a couple of backup also runs. This summer we have improved our starting 11 in one place. We needed to improve it in at least 3. You can make an argument for 5 and 6. For at least 3, needed it. Needed it. You lose Ander Herrera, you lose Fellaini. You needed another midfielder. We've needed a centre-half since... We've needed a centre-half for a long time. Not long left to go. What do you guys reckon? Who are we going to get? My gut says that I think we're going to get Longstaff still. And I think we'll get Maguire. The newspapers seem to think that Dybala's imminent, as obviously the imminence of Lukaku is leaving. I think a lot depends on that. Right, that is it from me. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to come and tune in at around about 5:45 for the watch long over on Stretford Paddock, where you see me, Joe McGrath, Omar, and I don't even know who else we've said that's going to be on there with us. I guess we'll find out about 5:45, won't we? See you then. Laters.